Hello everyone. Today's video content is analysis of the real questions of the SAP APD 2309 exam and explanation of relevant knowledge points. The following test questions are all from our question bank and they were updated on December 18th, 2024. Exam overview. Exam topics. Exam preparation tips. Question 1. In which SAP products should you apply the ABAP Cloud Development Model? The knowledge points of this question are ABAP Cloud Development Model. This model is used mainly in cloud environments like SAP S for HANA Cloud and SAP BTP ABAP environment. It's all about making ABAP development fit well in the cloud, which helps in deploying applications faster and keeping them easy to update and secure. And take a look at the 4 options for this question. Correct. The ABAP Cloud Development Model is designed for the cloud environment, including the private edition of SAP S for HANA. Incorrect. The public edition generally does not support the full flexibility of the ABAP environment due to its standardized nature. SAP BTP ABAP environment is explicitly built for ABAP development in the cloud. Incorrect. The ABAP Cloud Development Model is intended for cloud scenarios, not on-premise installations. Question 2. Which RESTful application programming object allows customization of UI fields in an application? The knowledge points of this question are metadata extension. Metadata extensions let you tweak UI fields without messing with the core service logic. This means you can change what the user interface looks like and how it behaves without altering the underlying functions, making it easier to meet specific business needs. Incorrect. Projection views are used for defining specific views of data in CDS, but not directly for UI customization. Correct. Metadata extensions are used to modify the UI by adding or changing properties of fields without modifying the underlying data model. Incorrect. Service definitions declare the interface for data services but don't customize UI directly. Incorrect. Data model views organize data structures but are not used for direct UI customization. Question 3. What limitations are imposed on ABAP SQL arithmetic expressions? The knowledge points of this question are limitations of ABAP SQL arithmetic expressions. ABAP SQL has certain rules, like not mixing integers with decimals in calculations, or restricting some operations to just floating point numbers. These rules help prevent errors and ensure calculations are done right. Incorrect. ABAP SQL does allow mixing of integer and decimal types. Incorrect. Floating point operations are not restricted to specific operators beyond standard SQL limitations. Correct. It's recommended to avoid mixing integer and floating point types to prevent precision issues. Correct. Some operators like exponentiation are typically used with floating point types. Question 4. Identify the correct statements regarding ABAP programming checks. The knowledge points of this question are ABAP programming checks. ABAP uses pragmas and pseudocode screens to help manage how code checks are performed. Pragmas can ignore warnings, while pseudocode screens guide the syntax checker on what to focus on, making sure the code stays clean and follows intended practices. Correct. Pragmas are designed to be ignored by the syntax checker, as they are hints to the compiler. Correct. Need is a pragma that helps avoid unnecessary syntax errors for unused variables during development. Incorrect. EC needed is used to suppress specific syntax check errors, but does not bypass the checker entirely. Incorrect. Pseudo-sentiments are generally ignored by the syntax checker. Question 5. Which type of internal table allows both unique and non-unique keys? The knowledge points of this question are types of internal tables. In ABAP, sorted tables can handle both unique and non-unique keys, which is great for when you need to keep data in order and search through it efficiently. Incorrect. Standard tables do not support keys explicitly. Correct. Sorted tables can be defined with either unique or non-unique keys. Incorrect. Hash tables require unique keys for their hashing mechanism. Question 6. What extensibility approach is recommended by SAP for modifying the UI of an SAP Fiori app? The knowledge points of this question are UI extensibility in SAP Fiori. The developer approach is recommended for customizing SAP Fiori app's UI. It allows for deep changes to be made, aligning the app's interface with complex or specific business processes. Incorrect. Developer extensibility usually refers to coding, which isn't typically recommended as the primary method for modifying the UI. Incorrect but close. This approach uses extension apps on SAP BTP to add or override functionality without modifying the original app. Incorrect. This is a more traditional approach that involves modifications which are less sustainable. Correct. This approach is recommended for modifying Fiori apps, as it allows UI adaptations without deep technical knowledge. Question 7. What characteristics pertain to unique secondary keys in ABAP? The knowledge points of this question are characteristics of unique secondary keys in ABAP. Unique secondary keys in ABAP tables are set up the first time you access them and update automatically with any data changes. This keeps data retrieval fast and accurate, helping applications perform better. Correct. Unique secondary keys are initialized the first time they are accessed to improve performance. Correct. To maintain the integrity of the keys, they are updated anytime the primary data in the table is modified. Incorrect. Secondary keys are not automatically created. They must be explicitly defined. Incorrect. They do not refresh every time, but are maintained consistently. Question 8. During the execution of a loop using DO, which system variable acts as the implicit loop counter? The knowledge points of this question are: implicit loop counter in DO. In ABAP, the C-index system variable automatically counts the number of iterations in a DO loop. This makes it easier to manage loops without manually tracking each cycle, simplifying your code. Correct. C-index is used as the implicit counter in loops formed with DO. Incorrect. This is used for line numbers in lists. Incorrect. Used to store the success or failure status of operations. Incorrect. Not relevant for loop counting. Question 9. What are key characteristics of core data services? The knowledge points of this question are: key characteristics of core data services. CDS in SAP allow for more detailed and flexible data models with features like annotations, inheritance, and associations. These tools let you set up complex data scenarios more naturally right in the database, improving performance and capabilities. Incorrect. Delegation is not a characteristic of CDS. Incorrect. While CDS uses SQL-like syntax, it's not a key characteristic. Correct. Annotations are used extensively in CDS to provide metadata and define aspects of behavior at the database level. Correct. CDS supports inheritance, allowing more complex data models to be built efficiently. Correct. Associations define relationships between different CDS views. Question 10. What role does a foreign key play in an ABAP dictionary between two tables? The knowledge points of this question are: role of foreign keys in ABAP dictionary. Foreign keys link tables together, ensuring that data stays consistent and related records match up correctly. This is key for maintaining reliable and accurate data across the database. Incorrect. While it does represent a link, its primary role is not just documentation. Correct. Foreign keys enforce referential integrity between tables. Incorrect. The definition in ABAP dictionary must be specifically designed to enforce these constraints. Question 11. Under which circumstances are sorted and hashed tables respectively recommended by SAP? The knowledge points of this question are: recommended scenarios for using sorted and hash tables. Use sorted tables when you need orderly access or searches based on partial key matches. Hashed tables are best when you need super fast retrieval using a full key, thanks to their direct access setup. Correct. Hashed tables provide the fastest access for complete key matches. Incorrect. Sorted tables are not ideal for this purpose. Correct. Sorted tables allow efficient access for such operations. Incorrect. Hash tables require complete keys for effective use. Question 12. What rules apply to constructors in subclassing in ABAP? The knowledge points of this question are: rules for constructors in subclassing in ABAP. When creating subclasses in ABAP, you must run the base class constructor first to make sure everything is set up correctly before adding any new features. This ensures that the subclass works smoothly and avoids issues with uninitialized data. Correct. This ensures that all base class functionalities are properly initialized. Incorrect. Event handlers should be managed carefully to prevent premature triggering. Incorrect. Import parameters should generally remain unmodified to maintain data integrity. Correct. Subclass constructors can have different parameters, enhancing flexibility. Question 13. What components are included in an access control object in ABAP? The knowledge points of this question are: components of an access control object in ABAP. Access control objects manage who can see or use data in applications. They include rules for when access is allowed, role definitions for who can access, and conditions for denying access, all to keep data secure and properly controlled. Correct. The where clause is used to specify the conditions under which access is granted. Incorrect. The grant statement is not typically used within ABAP access control objects. This concept is more relevant in SQL. Correct. Defining roles is integral to managing who can access what data. Correct. The revoke statement or its equivalent functionality is used to deny access explicitly. Incorrect. While authority checks are common, they typically do not involve a return code in the context of access control objects. Question 14. Why are core data services preferred over traditional data modeling methods? The knowledge points of this question are: advantages of core data services over traditional data modeling. DDS bring the heavy lifting of data operations closer to the database, reducing strain on application servers and making apps run faster and more efficiently. They streamline data handling by cutting down on unnecessary data movement. Correct. CDS enables pushing down the business logic to the database layer, which improves performance and reduces application server load. Incorrect. While they reduce unnecessary data transfers, they do not entirely prevent it. Correct. Direct computation at the database level allows for more efficient data processing. Incorrect. This is the opposite of one of the primary advantages of CDS, which is to move processing to the database. Question 15. In RESTful application programming, which object is specifically tailored to include only necessary fields for a particular application? The knowledge points of this question are projection view and RESTful application programming. Projection views focus on showing only the needed fields in an application, enhancing performance by reducing the amount of data processed and displayed. This leads to a cleaner, faster user experience by loading only what's essential. Correct. Projection views are used in CDS to create tailored views of the data that include only the necessary fields for specific applications, optimizing performance and maintenance. Incorrect. While metadata extensions are used for adding properties or annotations, they don't limit fields, but rather enhance existing definitions. Incorrect. Data model views are broader and not specifically tailored to limit fields. Incorrect. Database views are more general and not designed specifically for RESTful scenarios with limited fields. If you have any questions about the ABAP 2309 exam, please leave a message in the comment area or contact us directly. Thank you everyone for watching. See you next time.